online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Coming up, Alex Lima, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. You won't believe some of the bills that are being talked about or potentially issues that are going to be coming up. He's going to talk to you about that. Alex has some insights on some bills that are being floated. I think in Texas is where this one came out, but it's about self-defense and the ability to kind of protect yourself. So we're going to touch base with him on that. Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Also, I got an interesting clip talking about major media outlets that are failing now. So I think a lot of the United States public is getting tired of these misrepresentations, these blatant misuses of their journalistic powers, and so we're going to talk about that and more coming up here on the show. Before we do now, we always like to feature our real estate listings live on air. It's part of our strategy that helps our sellers sell faster for more money right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Now, we list vacant land, commercial, and residential properties, and here's a couple of vacant land opportunities that we have. 18341 Ferreira Avenue in Spring Hill. This is a vacant parcel of land, just over an acre of land, 1.19 acre vacant land, zoned AR. You have a certified septic tank, well, and electric pole. Impact fees have been paid, so you can build your dream home or maybe place a mobile home on that property as well. Short drive to restaurant, shopping, and all conveniences. You're close to Weeki Wachee Springs, Anderson Snow Sports Complex, shopping outlets, and more at 18341 Ferreira Avenue in Spring Hill. And it's already been cleared as well. It looks flat, relatively flat and cleared. So it's great opportunity to own real estate and go ahead and move in and build that dream life there. And what I love about those areas up north is you get a little bit more bang for your buck. You get more acreage, larger bedrooms, and if it's a single family home, larger spaces as well. All right, we got another property here at Sunshine Grove Road, Brooksville. This one is in Brooksville, almost 5 acres. This one's almost 5 acres, 4.9 acre, zoned AG, so you could build your dream home or maybe place a mobile home there. Also, potential, I think it has potential to go into a mixed use or commercial space as well. If you look next door, I believe that's a commercial building as well. Buyer will need to place septic and well there. It's situated on a paved road. You got 4-lane highway out in front of you, close proximity to schools, shopping centers, restaurants, and medical facilities. Effortless commute to major metropolitan areas like Tampa, Orlando, and Clearwater. Sunshine Grove Road in Brooksville, Florida. Another one of our hot listings. We got about 60 current listings with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And again, our strategy is to help you sell faster for more money by maximizing the exposure, putting our listings live on air on the talk show. It's one of our daily features where we feature multiple real estate listings. And that's our highest duty for our sellers, is to maximize the exposure, and which leads to maximum profits in a shorter marketing period. Signal going all the way down to Fort Myers, Naples, Marco Island, all the way up to the Panhandle over to Orlando. Great opportunity there. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com. All right, we got Alex Lima in the house, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. Alex Lima, how you been, my friend?
Pretty good, man. How's it going?
Yep, things are great. Rocking and rolling, and we are, man, it's you think back and it's like, can't believe we're like, here we are in mid-February, 2024, cruising right along. We got an election year, so everybody's kind of, a little bit on edge, kind of like, what's going to happen next? It's another election year, so self-defense is very topical. Been going to the gun range more and more, going to visit Florida Firearms over there with Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy, and just kind of getting prepared, man, making sure I'm able to protect the family.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's my norm. I train every week. I'm doing something in some shapewear form, whether I'm at the range, training, either pistol or long gun stuff, or with my crews, my team over at American Top Team and my guerrillas over at Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. We always get rounds in, doing our Thai boxing, jiu-jitsu, everything. So it's my normal for me. And like I've said before on the show, I don't understand people that don't put emphasis and priority on it.
Right.
I think what it comes down to with many other things is people have good intentions, right? As a species, we have good intentions. We want to love, we want to care, we want nice things. We have good intentions. You want nice things, you probably want to protect those nice things. You don't buy a nice car and you're like, oh, you know what, I'm going to crash it.
Yeah.
Right? You buy something because you want to take care of it, right? there's nothing more important than taking care of yourself, and your family and your home, in my opinion. But I think people get distracted. I'm gonna take this class, man. I want to go down to the range, and then it's like, oh man, I gotta make dinner, and then oh man, I forgot. I gotta go to this listing appointment. I gotta do this, whatever it is.
Sure.
But with distractions, you have to put higher emphasis on what's a priority. Yeah. And right now, with the state of the world, and there's always nothing more important than your faith and love and your family, and then the safety of your faith, your love, and your family and your home.
Right. Yeah, because if you don't have that, if you're not protecting it, then, and I think you're kind of hitting on that point is, as Americans, we've been so comfortable for so long. And then we had the China virus come across, and it's like, wow, what is this? We're locked down. We have these mandates in terms of injecting our bodies, something in our bodies that they're calling us bad names if we didn't want to do that. So you have all these challenges, and it was an eye-opening experience for a lot of people. It's like, wow, I thought we lived in the free state of America. This is the free state, and everybody calls it a democracy. It's not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. Major differences there, but without going down too big of a bunny trail. Yeah, I love the idea of protecting the home and the attack. Another thing to talk about too is the attack on the alpha male. What's wrong with being the alpha male these days? They call it toxic masculinity. What's your thoughts around that? There's
just so much emphasis on distractions and wanting us to be weak and distracted, right? What I think it was Julius Caesar. What did he say? Give them crumbs or bread in circuses, and whenever people are about to revolt, you entertain them, you distract them, give them food, give them stimulus checks, give them give them a circus, give them Super Bowls with Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Things to take your mind off what's really going on behind the scenes. And as far as the whole is there toxic masculinity? Yeah, there are people in general that are toxic. Is there toxic feminism? Yes, there is. There are women that are toxic. It's right. There's toxic people. There's not toxic masculinity or feminine or whatever pronouns these people are trying to utilize nowadays. You need masculinity. There always needs to be balance, yin and yang. There has to be masculine energy and feminine energy.
Right.
There has to be balance in the world for it to progress.
Yeah.
Right. You need dirt and you need water in order for things to grow. Right. These things are necessary. These things, they want to distract you and tell you don't need this. You don't need to be a boy. You don't need to be a girl. Yes, you do. There needs to be males and there needs to be females. You need people that are strong. And I guess if the argument then is for balance is, then you need people that are weak as well, because there are people. I believe the weakness then might emphasize the need for the strong.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. No, it makes a lot of sense when you think about it from that perspective. Is that God put together natural order?
Definitely.
There's day, there's night, there's men, there's women. There's a natural order to everything. And what the left does is they come in and they create chaos. You might be. They talk to these young kids and say, oh well, you might be a boy or you might be a girl. No, we should be talking about reading, writing, arithmetic, kicking the other countries' butts that are sitting there saying, wow, look at these guys. Look at Russia, China, the BRICS nations, India. All these other nations are like looking at us like a joke right now. And by the way, we have open borders with an S, not just one. There was a report last week that talked about not only the thousands coming through daily, which equals millions so far. We've got millions in our country that are illegals, and you have the left, the mainstream media calling them migrants. No, it's not. You have illegals coming into our country, and then in New York now they're handing out money. And did you see what Stephen A. Smith said about it? It's because it's interesting to see all the different people. 50 Cent, Stephen A. Smith, coming out. He says, "quote We've got poor, impoverished, starving people who were born and raised in this nation. How in the hell do we come up with a $53 million pilot program for illegals? But folks who are here legally or born here, we don't have enough for them." Just like we can come up with billions for Ukraine. That was posted on social media from Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I grew up a street kid, so I listened to a lot of like Tupac and stuff when I was growing up. And Tupac said it. He's like, we got money for wars, but we don't have money to feed the homeless and feed the children.
True.
And it's always been true, and it's always been a problem. And I've said this before, and other great minds, much greater than myself, have said that there is a definitive problem when there's more money invested in incarceration than education.
Yes.
That's a big problem, That shows you where the emphasis, but it's a money making machine. Jails and prisons and stuff, a money making machine. And then talking about on the immigrant thing, I saw a really great video. It was either yesterday or the day before about it was a podcast, and the guy sat down and he actually he was hiding his face because he's a Mexican gangbanger. He's a legit gangbanger, right?
Wow.
And he was brought on the show, and he has a problem with the immigrants coming through, right? Because he says, "Yo, I was telling to my son that you see these guys that are coming through, and first off, people automatically start thinking that it's just Hispanics and stuff coming through, that it's Mexicans or whatever. No. It's there's Iraqis and there's people
Syrians,
from all over,
China.
man, all over coming through." And he said, and it's not, and they're sitting there by the border too. This guy, right, the gangbanger, and he's like, that is not just everyone's talking about the women and children and stuff coming through. No, those are fighting age males that are coming through.
Yes,
those are fighting age males that have grown up a lot rougher and tougher than the normal population has. Right? You're already seeing the cop that got jumped by like 6 of them in New York, an NYPD cop. Did you see that one? Got jumped and beaten,
I saw it.
and then they let them go. They
let him off.
They just let him off. Where are you going to send the paperwork to for their court date?
Yeah.
At whatever high school gym or what, they're going to leave. They're going to go to another state. You're never going to catch those guys, and they're just going to keep on being a problem.
And then on the flip side of that, you had a guy like Daniel Penny, who was a Marine or an Army guy. He comes out and he's helping people. There's this crazy guy on the subway going crazy, verbalizing threats. He takes him down, puts him in a rear naked choke, and accidentally chokes him out too much. And then the guy probably, I can't remember the details of the case, but he probably had all kinds of drugs running through his body. Toxicology report probably showed. I don't remember the details. But it was just like St. Floyd. Same thing with St. George Floyd there. So, anyways, we're talking with Alex Lima here, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. The idea is to protect yourself, protect your family, and think about these things. Get some training. Get a concealed permit. Actually, you don't need that anymore. It's constitutional carry now. But Alex can help you with that. Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. We're going to take a quick break here in just a minute. Before we do, I just want to talk about this post that I saw, something positive. So think about this. If you're saving $8 per day, that equals $3,000 per year. If you're reading 20 pages per day, that equals 30 books per year. And if you're walking 10,000 steps per day, that's 70 marathons per year. So never underestimate the power of small habits. I saw that on social and I thought, man, that just really, kind of resonated with me. It's because a lot of times we look at things, Alex, and we think, man, I could never achieve that, or I could never save that much money, or I could never, do these things that we have that negative self-talk. But if you have these small corrections and you have a habit that you're developing every day, it could be drinking more water or whatever it is, right? Eating a little bit more healthy. But as you see, there's 365 days in a year. So $8 per day, that's $3,000 a year you could save.
Yeah. Small incremental changes, they have a compounding effect, right? And then in the long term, that is where you achieve your success. Where most people, and it's really funny because I've been studying, reading a lot on sports psychology and like the mind of an athlete, what makes people great, not great, why do people buckle under pressure, why do some rise to the occasion, like a Kobe Bryant, right?
Yep.
Rest in peace, Kobe, right? You have to, people get overwhelmed because they're thinking about the outcome.
Yeah.
I can't lose the 200 pounds that I need to lose or whatever. It's an exaggerated number, obviously. Or like, oh man, I can't hit the game winning home run you need to focus on the small incremental things that you do have control over.
Right.
You have control over the process.
Yes.
Right. Taking a breath. Right. I can't save 10 grand this year. No, but you can probably save $3-4 every single week and put it to the side. Watch what happens. I mean, it'll compound, right? Do what you can. Small incremental changes. You'd be surprised how they compound later on and add up to massive changes in your life.
Yeah, Tony Robbins, my favorite business mastery. I went back in 2010. He has a quote that's kind of similar to that, and it's something to the effect that, because every January rolls around, January rolls around, right? What do? We have these New Year's resolutions,
that's
right?
It.
Which is to resolve to have whatever goal or effect, right?
It's just unfinished business.
So,
right?
so most people say, they go real aggressive on this year. This year, I'm going to have all these big goals, and then they end up failing to hit those goals in a lot of cases. Maybe they hit some, but not others. But he says we have a tendency to overestimate what we can do in 1 year, but significantly underestimate what we can do in 5 or 10 years.
Thing.
So I think that's the point. The compounding effect, small. And if you look back, I know a lot of times in my career, I've looked back 5 years. I've looked back 10 years. Man, if I look back just 10 or 15 years, man, I was a new realtor starting off, trying to figure it out. And then now, there's a systems in place. I've got an awesome, wife and team that come in and help us with
so with that,
things.
with that though, honestly, when you reflect back, and we don't have to do a deep reflection right now, but you off the top of your head,
sure.
When any success that you currently have or achieve, was it massive moves that you made, or it was just steady, incremental, don't stop grinding, follow the process, and make it happen, right?
Exactly. Yeah, just hard work. I mean, every morning I'm on the phones making sales calls every single morning,
and that's a
except
grind.
Sundays. That's a grind. That's the day for the Lord, and I do a little bit on the Sundays when you have to answer your phone. Quick break here. Alex Lima, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts, in studio with me. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, coming back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check us out online at consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider who shares your values. They offer the very best nationwide coverage on 4G and 5G LTE networks and exceptional 100% US-based customer support. Patriot Mobile offers discounts for veterans and first responders, NRA members, and families with multiple lines. Learn more at patriotmobile.com/consumer QB. That's patriotmobile.com/consumer QB. Or if you'd like to give us a call, you can reach out at 727-263-3707. That's 727-263-3707. And we'd be happy to tell you more about Patriot Mobile. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. You can reach me at 727-263-3707. Call or text 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, in studio with Alex BlackBelt Lima, fitness and martial arts here on the show. We're going to talk about the self-defense bill coming up here in just a moment. Paramilitary exercises could be banned in the future. Something as simple as classes that teach you how to, clear rooms and properly hold and shoot guns. They're trying to crack down on that, apparently. Also got a clip I'm going to play about major media outlets, legacy outlets, the losses that they're having, both monetarily, site visits, and also employees layoffs, coming up here on the show. Before we do, hot listing here, 8333 New York Avenue in Hudson. This is a commercial property. It's kind of a mixed-use property because we've got a single-family element to it. You have 1.5 acres of land, 1.5 acres, zoning is C3. So you have 3 distinct structures, 2 residential buildings and 1 warehouse. You've got generating income coming in around $3,300 a month. You have a warehouse, office spaces, climate controlled, 2-bay car garage with a body lift, body shop with a car lift, that is, in storage, warehouse spaces, RV and boat storage parking. So a lot of room to do some really unique things with this property at 8333 New York Avenue in Hudson. A great buying opportunity in Tampa Bay. 3704 Burger Road in Lutz. We have a large mansion for sale in Lutz. This is a beautiful property. You've got 9 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, 10,000 square foot indoor space, 2-story home, Mediterranean palace right here in Lutz, Florida, Burger Road, Lutz, Florida. Full tennis court, basketball court, miniature golf putting green, sauna, steam room, original Spanish-style tile, 2 master suites and a jetted tub, and you have an indoor pool. This is a really cool property here. You can see all of our real estate listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Quick shout out to our friends at Satellite Phone Store, sat123.com/REQB. The power goes out, the cell phones go down. Who are you going to call? How are you going to call? Sat123.com/REQB. They give you a free sat phone too, with over, I think it's a 15-month agreement, free satellite phone. Sat123.com/REQB, like real estate quarterback. So let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers and incentives. All right, Alex Lima's in studio with me here today. Alex, I want to get to this. I want to try to squeeze in both these stories. Media outlets are laying off here in record numbers.
Major media outlets have seen mass layoffs and declining audiences in recent months. This has led many analysts to wonder what's going wrong and can the bleeding be stopped?
Here with more is Daily Wire culture reporter Megan Basham.
Well, the pain definitely seems to center on long-established legacy outlets. So if we look specifically at layoffs, the Washington Post cut about 240 staffers back in December. And then the next month, the LA Times slashed about 20% of its newsroom, which was one of the largest layoff rounds in the company's history. And we should keep in mind when we think about this that the company is 143 years old. And then we have what appears to be the death of one of the most iconic brands in the media industry, Sports Illustrated.
Sports Illustrated could potentially be dying. Washington Post lays off 240. LA Times lays off 20% of their staff. So what we're seeing, Alex, is this shift from traditional media to more niche shows like ours and other types of podcasts. Of course, Tucker now off of Fox, putting out his own original content. I'd like to see the latest numbers on his interview with Putin, which I listened to. It was a 2.5, and it was very, very insightful, very intriguing interview with the Russian president. But I think there's a big trend moving away from the traditional legacy media that basically we know lies to us to more niche type content.
Yeah, actually, to touch on the Tucker Carlson thing for a second, there's only like a handful of people on this planet that could go over to Russia right now and make it back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson, and the courage he has to go over there to try to like gain the truth. I mean, talk about somebody truly fighting against cancel culture. I mean, He was completely canceled, man. From being able to. I believe per the contract, he can't be on another news outlet. He has to be this like quote unquote independent journalist that he is now.
It's like good.
And to have that means good. He doesn't have to. He's not bought. Nobody's in his pocket.
Yeah.
He's going out there and he's getting you the real story.
He's posting it on X, and thank God again for Elon Musk and what he's doing and on X. But other story too. So tell me about the self-defense bills where they're basically saying no more paramilitary exercises.
Yeah, man. So this has been done, to my knowledge, before. Vermont passed a bill that said basically you can't do any training. But this goes back to them trying to squeeze down on taking away your Second Amendment rights, your ability to go and defend yourself. It's let me see, Preventing Private Paramilitary Activity Act of 2024. This is S.3589. So if you were to look it up on whatever search engine, S.3589 is Preventing Private Paramilitary Activity Act of 2024, and it prohibits paramilitary activity as far as groups getting together to train and teach others how to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Take it a step further. I'm sure a lawyer that's good enough could say that if we formed our quote unquote neighborhood watch and we got together and we were trying to protect our neighborhood or our subdivision that we live in or our city and state,
right?
Then we could potentially face massive charges and even jail time.
Yeah.
So that's, pretty crazy with all these illegals and stuff coming through that we don't know. Listen, even whether the illegal situation is happening or not, just in your current neighborhood, you should be able to protect yourself. And we should be able to come together as men and women and form a contingency plan. If something was to occur, why can't we sit down and train and talk about what we need to be able to do if someone comes through?
That should be under the Second Amendment. The ability that says something to having a well-formed militia or something like that. It says it does say have language in there about that.
They're trying to fight it.
Yeah, exactly.
As always.
What's your coordinates? How do you want people to connect?
You can always reach me on the socials, BlackBelt_fitness. You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook. It's Alex Blackbelt Jones. And you can come train with me over at American Top Team or with Black Belt Fitness. Hit me up.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right, hey, another great show. We had Andrew QB on the front end talking about those business loans, SBA money out there, and, of course, Alex Lima. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.